Hey everybody, when you save dogs, you need funding. Our next fundraiser is Putts for Paws 2020. 2020 because we couldn't do anything last year. So please log on to puttsforpaws2020.com to get all the details about how you can help us at this year's golf fundraiser. You can golf, you can volunteer, you can donate. We need you. I don't care if you're Tiger Woods. I don't care if you've never played golf or know what a golf club is. You can still play. It's fun for everyone. It's a shotgun start. Doesn't matter what level you are. Lots of fun. We need you. We need sponsors. We need players. Please, puttsforpaws2020.com. Thank you. Yeah. Let me leave ZZ Top. How? Welcome back, everybody. I'm Steve McLean, co-founder of Little Red Dog. Thank you for tuning in for the love of dog. I'm here as usual with my partner, Mr. Gary Newcomb. Gary, how are you?
Doing good. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm
Cool.
not feeling too beat up. People aren't beating me down yet, but the day's young.
The day's young.
Give
them some time.
Happen. So every once in a while, you know how hard it is to find fosters. It's the hardest thing to do. But every once in a while, we get lucky. We get a dog-savvy person. And not only is the person dog-savvy, but if I'm living right and I'm lucky, we get someone that's super interesting. Interesting. And we're lucky enough to have this particular person on our show today.
Wow.
I know, right?
Hitting all the boxes.
Hitting all the boxes. We've got Mr. Mark Valley coming on our show. And I think he's ready to go. He's good. There he is. Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Hey, guys. Good.
Thank you so much. So, Mark, you know what? I absolutely hate you. Not only are you good looking, not only are you flipping engineering degree from West Point, so you're not stupid. You're obviously very smart. You got it going on. Athletic. Oh my God, that's right. We played rugby. Jesus, I want to kick your ass, but I can't because you're tougher than me. So you hit all the buttons. This is amazing. So just really quickly, Mark, tell us how you start in the military, West Point, hardcore, and you go from that to acting.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good question. I kind of... Some people ask me, why did you go in the military in the first place?
Right.
Back a little bit, I guess the truth is, I grew up, in the late 60s, early 70s, and, Vietnam was on TV, and, had this really, some relatives were drafted, and had this really kind of strong calling to be in the Army. You have to serve at some point. So I sort of felt that some of it has to do with, family. My grandfather was in World War II, and
right.
I grew up and stuff. So, so there was that, and so I went in, and when I was there, I don't know. I was good at doing impersonations.
Oh, okay. I got to ask you then. Who do you do best? Just give me one quick one.
Well, there were people like you never really knew.
Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. You can do personality.
You're CEO.
Well, then we don't know if you do a good job.
My squad leader.
Yeah. That's funny.
Actually, I did have a job. I can't do them anymore. I can't do them as well anymore. Anyway, I'll try to. Well, maybe by the end of the interview, I'll be able to do one.
All right. No worries.
Doing impersonations, and people were laughing, and I thought, wow, maybe I'm better at this than killing people.
But I'm very good at killing people, so it's a toss-up.
Yeah, so I worked as an extra on a movie, and I thought, well, it was a good way just to watch everything happening.
Did you transition to that pretty quickly after your stint in the military was done, or?
From the bottom of the food chain. Well, I'd saved up a little bit of money while I was in the Army, and I worked as an extra on a movie when I was stationed overseas. And then I just started, took some money and went to New York and found an apartment and got a job in a coffee shop. This is back when you could kind of do stuff like that.
Right.
Worked as, took acting classes, and it happened pretty quick. And within 2 years, I was in Los Angeles working on Days of Our Lives.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. Well, I was looking at all the things you've been in. You've been in so many things. You also do voiceover work. You were in one of my favorite sci-fi shows, Fringe. I absolutely love that show.
Right. Yeah.
Love that. And then Boston Legal, of course. So obviously you've had a very successful acting life. And I think you kind of told me right now you're into writing and producing some stuff. Is that right? Anything you kind of want to plug? Anything you kind of coming out soon or you want to talk about?
Yeah, I love it when people say, you know, there is, but I can't tell you.
I get it. No,
It's great stuff, though.
Well, let's just say you're going to find out about it. Because it's huge.
I have no doubt.
For a Heinz ketchup commercial next Tuesday, but I can't tell you about it. I can't say anything about it.
If I had any real money, I would definitely invest in anything you're doing, but I totally get it. Well, so let's kind of transition from that to, obviously you're into dogs, and so tell us how you found out about us, and why are you so interested in dogs? You're actually very good at it. Like when I met you the first time, and you were handling, what was the first dog you handled for us?
Coco?
Yeah, okay, Coco Grace.
Coco Grace.
And obviously you had some knowledge. So how did you get into that?
My house got ripped off. I lived in Venice.
Oh.
My house got, I don't know, 15, 12, 13, 14 years ago. And, I came back and my cat is just kind of licking his paws, like, I don't know what happened. like this big, and it wasn't that big, but it was big back in those days. And I thought, I think I need a little more protection. I noticed every time you walk by somebody's house in Venice, they all had dogs barking. So I thought, well, this might be the thing to do. I mean, I found out later, that you got to be careful when you just get a dog because you want protection, because you might be reinforcing some behavior that may come back to literally bite you or somebody else.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so I basically did everything wrong with that dog that you could possibly do. I got it when it was about 2 years old, I think, maybe a year and a half. It was a rescue, German Shepherd rescue, and it'd like to kind of jump on me and throw it around, and then I'd play tug of war, and I got one of those throwing machines, where I could go out in the field and be like the Lord of the Manor. Chuck it, as my dog runs off, gallops, and comes. Right. So there was that, and chew toys and squeaky toys, and I did everything wrong. But mostly was the subtle hints. When people would walk by the house, the dog would bark, and I'd be like, dog's watching the house.
Right.
Gradually, allowed it to click into its genetic predilection for aggression towards humans, I guess.
Right.
So I kind of did everything wrong, and the dog, it bit somebody. Yeah, pretty. It was a correction bite. It wasn't like an attack bite or anything, but still breaks the skin, and you see blood, and it can be kind of traumatizing for an owner. So immediately at that point, I went through what did they do wrong? They must have triggered it, or I'm sorry, he doesn't like people who wear
orange,
what it is, you know what I mean, hands up. So I kind of did everything wrong by sort of blaming everything, but the dog is not supposed to do this. And then it happened one more time, and then I got to the point where it was like, all right, like he bit somebody in New York, so I had to take him out of New York. I couldn't keep him in New York State and bring back to you only have one. It's like managing a felon,
Right. Safe house. Had to go safe house to safe house.
Yeah. So I mean, but as a kid, I had a newspaper route, and I had this one dog that would I still remember delivering papers, and I would lift my feet up to the handlebars so the dog wouldn't bite me, so I could throw the
I had the same experience on my paper route. Yeah. It was the same house every day. I'm like, come on, just put the dog on a chain.
You're throwing food at the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how high you can lift your legs.
Yeah.
Like Cirque du Soleil going by their house. So there was that, and that dog just bit me in their house one time, and it just, I remember I was probably like 13 or so, and it was a lab, like a yellow lab, and she went to another room to get the money, and that dog just looked at me and just kind of made his way over, and it turned its head to the door, and it just chomped into my butt.
Right.
It held on.
The money shot.
The money shot. Well, I think people don't understand. We get that a lot, Mark, actually, when people say, I want a dog for protection, and not understanding that has to be taught to the dog. There's a lot of training is involved. Dogs don't just default to.
No, I get a lot of people in lessons that think that their, reactive dog that reacts to strangers is a guard dog. And there's a distinct difference there.
Right. So I think you mentioned you got some help with a trainer in LA, right? Was it for this dog, or was that a different situation?
No, it's for this dog. I went to I watched all of the the Dog Whisperer.
Yeah,
I watched
Cesar Millan, yeah.
all the seasons that he had. It's funny, I met him one time. It's like some award show, and I just gotten this dog, and I said, hey, I just got this dog. I watched all your shows. And he's like, great. And I thought, I enjoy your show. I thought we were going to start talking about me.
Right.
But he goes, no. He goes, so, yeah, how's your dog?
Right.
I thought, wow, he's really kind of asking about, something else. Like, how's your relationship with this dog? I didn't really know what was going on. But anyway, I found a guy, actually, somebody recommended someone. His name's Brandon Fouché, and he has a place down in like South LA, and I think he also trains horses as well, and like really kind of the rough, aggressive breeds. I don't know if you guys have you guys heard of him?
I've heard of him one other time, but I've never met him or anything like that.
Yeah, well, Brandon Fouché is the classic one. He's like, I agree with a lot of the Dog Whisperer, but I told you this one before, and it was his attitude about positive reinforcement.
Right.
He's like, who's the king of the jungle?
Right.
And lion. And he goes, don't see the lion sitting around handing out treats to monkeys.
That's exactly what we're saying. We put it a different way, but same philosophy. Right.
Messed up, but that monkey messes up, he's gonna find out.
There's gonna be some problems. Yeah.
Oh, that was Brandon's thing. But anyway, I met him, and he looked at the dog for like a day and kind of told me, he's like, okay, here's the problem. You got to fundamentally change your relationship with this dog. And I went from being like a buddy to, you've got to be not only pack leader, but to some extent you have to be the one that this dog fears more than the rest of the stuff that's out there.
Right.
And you can do that without hitting the dog or abusing it or anything like that. You can just it's a little more than calm assertive leadership. It's more like kind of really respecting these dogs and respecting the lineage and the breeds. And it was 40,000 years ago we were domesticating dogs. Right. They were wolves.
Right.
It was only in the 19th century that they started doing this really selective breeding thing, and everything was either herder or like a guard dog, essentially. Right. So, we were expecting a really strong pivot from dogs in a short period of time. And I'm thinking, I was watching a Snoopy movie, I don't know, with my nephew the other day. And Snoopy always lived in a doghouse outside the house. Right. And I'm thinking it's been a transition maybe since like the 1940s or 1950s where now we brought these dogs into our houses and we expect them to behave like another human with our, social and interpersonal cues and so forth. But so I was kind of taking that into consideration, looking at his breed and looking at the things that kind of, excited that, kind of made that dog into the, the transformer where he felt like he was able to bite people. So, got him a muzzle and things started to change.
Okay, great. That's awesome. It's funny. We just talked about this in the last show about people. We give you the knowledge. It's up to you to execute it. And we were talking about the math behind that. So I love the fact that you're bringing that up. In other words, someone taught you how to change your brain, how to approach a dog in the correct way, right? and you stuck with it. I'm assuming I'm assuming you stuck with it, and the dog got back on the path. I'm assuming, right?
I mean, you know, he lived another 10 years without biting anything.
Nice.
That's a win.
That's a total win. And my guess, I said in the last show, when we do teach a family how to change their brain, how to change their approach, I'm pretty pessimistic. I'm saying only like 33% of the families put the work in to turn things around. That's just, again, I can't do a study on it, but that's my guess.
Yeah.
But that's awesome because that was time. We didn't plan for that conversation to go this way, but that's the perfect scenario.
Ties back into what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But I had a question for you guys because, like, what percentage of, like, people say rescue dogs? You know, like, you know, they rescued them from the freeway, or I know you guys didn't say that, but you know, but a lot of these dogs aren't like, they're not born in a barn out in Bakersfield. I mean, what percentage of dogs are pre-owned essentially?
Oh, as far as the rescue goes? Oh, 100% were previously owned.
Yeah, even the strays that we get were probably previously owned.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say 100%, but we do at least 3 or 4 times a year. We'll get a situation where someone found a dog, the mother and the puppies in a field. So obviously
they're feral now.
Yeah, we'll be the first owners, but it's 100%, and we're always talking about the reason why these dogs wind up there. Is because unlike you, Mark, the people give up and they blame the dog, and they say it can't be me; it has to be the dog to get the dog back, right? So it just, again, I didn't mean for this conversation to go this way, but that's kudos to you. I mean, obviously you put the work in, and you can sit here today and go, look, it does work as long as you change your brain. And we're always, I don't ever want to say we diss positive reinforcement.
I carry a treat bag.
You do carry a treat bag, but we're always talking about how important it is for the family to understand they are the leader, but you have to be calm, right?
And my approach to treats is not reward a dog for anything.
No.
How I approach it is I use food to teach a dog a behavior, and then I use corrections to hold that behavior.
Right. Well, that's so awesome. But one last thing I want to talk about. How did you find out about us? Just dumb luck, Pet Finder, something like that, or do you even remember?
You know, I think it was, you know, the dog I was talking about, Reed. He died like, it was June of last year, right?
Oh, it hasn't been that long. Yeah,
it hasn't been. Really. So I thought, man, I'd like to get, you know, another dog, but I don't know if I'm really ready to get another dog. I mean, man, it gutted me.
I know. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Wow. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know, dogs get older. They get older when they start to get old. They get old quick.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't serve them. But anyway, I was like, well, so I started looking around. I thought maybe I'll just kind of foster, not just foster. It's a different. I want to talk to you guys about that too, because it's a different relationship than an owner.
Yes. It's harder. You know what I mean? It's harder in some ways, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more difficult because, I mean, with my dog, I kind of built this relationship that, okay, whatever I said was okay. You know, like, you know, tell your dog what you don't want your dog to do. Let them know when they're doing something wrong. So you can kind of customize your dog to yourself, right?
Right.
So with a foster, you can't really let those... You know, you can't let the dog jump on your bed while you're changing your socks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Depending on the breed, you know, because they'll push it with somebody else into a house, and suddenly they feel like, oh, this is okay, right? So you have to, you know, be mindful of that. There will be like another owner in the future. But I did want to ask you about the positive reinforcement, because I think this dog has had some positive reinforcement, but it does. I mean, it is a staff, and it is kind of puppyish, but I find there's a little bit of a problem with it kind of nibbling it toward my hands, like looking for food.
Just in general, when you're walking by, he's going for the hands, or when does it usually happen?
He doesn't anymore. When I'm walking him, usually. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be looking for treats, or he could just be looking for, you know, any type of reward from you, some kind of acknowledgement. You know, staffies are very food motivated, so if somebody ever used food in the training, then that would definitely be something they go back to.
Well, my guess is it wasn't a previous owner; it was one of the volunteer walkers.
Yeah.
Because I know I don't think Bridget uses. You met Bridget that day, right? I think Bridget's the one that dropped the dog off. But who does use treats a lot, and they did walk the dog, was Debbie. Debbie loves.
Debbie loves it.
We're gonna throw Debbie under the bus. But I don't like using food on the walks for sure.
No, I don't use at all.
Like
I mean, I'll teach a puppy to walk using food, but it's going to be all corrections to hold those behaviors because they know them already. Those are instinctive behaviors to them.
Well, Mark, too, and when what your other trainer pointed out, that's my analogy. When the alpha's out on a pack walk, the alpha doesn't have little treats inside its fur saying, "Good job, Sparky. Here's the next little treat." So for the same reason, I don't like doing that either.
I use Mama Dog. Mama Dog doesn't wear a treat bag.
That's
she
right.
never tells him good job. It's just do what you're told or else there's going to be a correction.
Well, now that you said that, Mark, I remember when we first spoke, you were thinking about adopting.
I was, yeah. And then I was thinking about adopting. Then I realized, I don't know. I just feel like, and this dog is pretty sweet too. I mean, I always like to keep the option open, but
You got first dibs.
I felt like, there was like a dozen years of taking a dog that was, a Chow Pit Bull Shepherd mix who, had no compunction from biting people, and, what I sort of went through to help transform that dog. I learned a lot, and I thought, what, there's like a little skill here. I could probably do good with it,
Well,
So.
one thing I wanted to ask you, because believe it or not, you really are in the minority as far as transitioning the way you were looking at dogs, and you were successful, obviously. Do you think your success was based? Obviously, you're a very disciplined human being. I mean, you have a degree in engineering. You were in the military. Do you think that helped you be successful once someone said, "Hey, if you just do this, you'll see success"?
Oh my God, I'm so good at following orders to the point where I got to check myself sometimes. It's like, dude, come on, Yeah. I'm good at when somebody gives me instructions. It's implementing my own ideas that I have the biggest challenge with. I think that's probably.
Oh, that's interesting. So, in other words, you need. Oh, go ahead.
Interesting about the the discipline, the routine with a dog. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I find that if a dog gets on like a specific routine, then the clock sort of becomes the pack leader. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Sometimes I change it up, like, we're going to walk at 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock because I said so.
Yeah, well, it's so important that you do change up your routine. You're a father as well, right?
Yes. Yep.
So the one question that I think helps parents figure out the difference between being a good parent and a good dog owner is understanding that when you're a parent, your job is to teach your children to one day be independent, right? You still have that structure, you still have that love and all this stuff.
Yeah. All the decision makings are always building to that.
Yes. So at a certain point, you have to start trusting that you've done a decent job as a parent and your child is now ready. Now, conversely, with the dog, you're constantly teaching your dog to be dependent, right?
Yeah.
And this is why it's so important to do what you're doing. And your instincts are awesome. You shouldn't question yourself because your instinct was really good about changing up the dynamic of the day, because that is teaching your dog to be dependent on what you need to listen to what I want to do. And so just because we're doing something at 8:30, it's important for you to follow that because you're never allowed to make a decision on your own. So it's genius that you're doing this, right? And no one told you to do this. So again, trust yourself.
Yeah.
Again. Who knew?
My dog will bring me his food bowl every night at 8 p.m. And
Really?
I have a rule that if he brings it, he's automatically got to wait at least 15 minutes after. I don't usually feed him until 9, but he'll start at 8 p.m.
Well, that's another little trick to teach your dog that, hey, you have to listen to me. And in fact, whenever I go to someone's family, whenever I go to someone's house and teach his family how to teach their brain this skill set, is I'll tell them, get the equipment out to walk your dog, make all the noises, open the door,
rattle the keys,
do all this stuff, but then don't walk your dog.
Yep. Don't let them have the solid markers where they know what's going to happen next.
So in other words, you're teaching your dog to pay attention to what I'm doing. Even though everything's telling you we might be doing this, you have to wait for me to actually say we're going on a walk. So again, this is why you've experienced success.
It's like I remember I did a Western once, and it was, the wranglers or the horses were the same way. They would change everything up because whether you said action or not, if it's whatever, lights, camera, first position, boom, the horse is going to take off with you.
Right.
Structured way where you would not build that those automatic prompts, for the animal, so it would still be spontaneous.
So you have the horse trainer yelling action over and over.
Right.
Oh man, the one thing that would be so much fun is to be in a Western, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I would love to do that. Anyway. Well, Mark, thank you so much. You've been amazing, and thanks for doing such a great job as a foster. Again, to me, it's the hardest job on the planet as far as I'm concerned, for the reasons you said. But remember, you do have first dibs on Tyson, so you can totally adopt him at any moment. He's a good boy.
You're test driving him now.
He's listening right now. Tyson, come here.
He's a good boy. Yeah, we got to see him.
Come here.
Just don't bite. Don't bite while on camera.
Come here. I just went after his tail.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, Mark, again, thank you so much. I know it takes these things take time. I appreciate you taking time out and talking to us.
Yeah, guys, it was great.
All right, good. All right, well, have a great day, and I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. Well, I think that went really well. I wasn't expecting. Honestly, I wasn't expecting the timing to circle back to what we just talked about. Right?
No, he definitely lent to what we were just talking about. That was cool.
And if we would have paid him to say, hey, make sure you talk about a dog that you were failing with, and then you brought a behavioral trainer in, and he got your brain straight.
I'm pretty sure his wage is a little high for what you're paying.
Yeah, there's no way we can afford that. So that's what I'm saying. It was so natural.
Yeah, he volunteered to play along.
No, it was really cool.
That's cool. No, and I think that's a deal that a lot of dog owners do have to deal with. So it's just, circumstantial that he's the one who had to deal with it and came out the other end.
Well, I think the other little insight that he gave is he said he needs someone to tell him what to do, which is I find fascinating because most men aren't that way.
Oh yeah, knowing yourself, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, absolutely.
Right. So I think that the takeaway is, when we talked about this before on the last show, is your brain needs to be open to learning, self-improvement. That's the only way you're going to be successful, with getting your dog the right way.
Yeah, whatever you do, the only thing you need to do is be better than the person you were yesterday.
or like we said, you don't really have to be this person, but your dog needs to think.
You need to convince your dog you're a better person than you were yesterday.
I say that all the time. I say, just sell it. Your dog just has to buy it. You don't
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, baby. All right. Well, I think that was awesome. I'm so enjoying that. Anyway, well, thank you. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, man. Take care, everybody.